Hello and welcome to another video. I hope that you're all very well. Is your car really fit to be on the road? A lot of you will say, yes, of course it is. It's got an MOT certificate. Now, every car that is 3 years or over in the UK has to undergo an MOT test. Basically, it's called the Ministry of Transport test because it's conducted by the Ministry of Transport. Now, once it passes the test, a certificate is issued, which is valid for a year. But what does the test actually tell you? All it actually says is that on the day that you took your car for the test, it was fit to be on the road. Even though the certificate is valid for a whole year, this does not mean that the condition of your car will not change during that year, nor does it mean that any faults will not develop. We need to make sure that our car is both safe and legal for each and every journey that takes place in it. There's a simple procedure that we can follow to ensure this, and I've got a little acronym called FLOWER, or better still, FLOWERY, to ensure that the procedure is followed correctly. So without wasting time, let's get started. The first letter of flower is F. F for fuel. Now, I'm not saying that you have to have enough fuel for the whole journey, because you don't. You can fill up throughout the journey anytime you want. However, the difference in price between fuel at a local petrol station to that on a motorway service station can make the difference, can be the price of a sandwich and a drink. So why not fill up at a local supermarket and get yourself a free sandwich and a free drink compared to filling up on the motorway? Well, that is the F for fuel. Secondly, we have L. The second letter of flower is L. L is for lights. We need to make sure that all our lights are in working order. This includes headlights, tail lights, all indicators, brake lights, fog lights, and even reverse lights. It's quite simple to check the lights. Basically, you on the headlights and put the hazard lights on. Walk around the car and you can check headlights are working, indicators are working, and tail lights are working. As far as brake lights are concerned and reverse lights are concerned, you can check them by looking at a reflective object. If you can't find a reflective object, then you have to ask somebody for assistance. So we've done F and we've done L. Next we have O. O for oil. This is quite an important check. In fact, they're all quite important checks, but the oil is especially important. The oil level must be checked at least once per week. Do not rely on the dashboard warning lights to tell you when the oil is low. It might work, it might tell you, it may give you early warning on smaller residential roads, but if you're driving at high speeds, for example motorway driving, by the time the oil light gives you a warning, the engine may already have overheated. If the engine overheats, there's a risk that it can seize up and is going to cost you a whole new engine, which costs thousands and thousands of pounds. Do not risk it. Check your engine oil at least once per week. It's quite easy to check the engine oil. All you need to do is take the dipstick out, wipe it with a tissue, and then put it back in. Take it out the second time and check the level, and it should be between the minimum and the maximum. So there you have it. The oil has been done. We've got the F for fuel, L for lights, O for oil. Next we've got W for water. Similar to the oil, the water is very important because it prevents the engine from overheating. The oil in the coolant, in the engine coolant level, will prevent the engine from overheating. And again, it should be checked once per week, and it should be between the minimum and the maximum markers. Also, with water, make sure that you have enough water in the windscreen washer fluid. It's actually against the law not to have water in the windscreen washer fluid. And if you are unlucky enough to get stopped by the police, one of the things they check on a vehicle is the water in the windscreen washer fluid, because you can get a fine and penalty points for not having water in there. So please ensure that you have water in the windscreen washer fluid. Even if you don't get stopped by the police, it can be very dangerous. If you're driving along the motorway and you pass a large vehicle after it's been raining, so it's no longer raining, but there is still surface water, and all the muck will come onto your windscreen, and if you put the wipers on, the windscreen just gets completely dirty that you will not be able to see anything, which is why you do need the water to wipe it all off. Okay, so far we've got F for fuel, L for lights, O for oil, and W for water. So next we move on to E for electrics. Now, you do not need to be an electrician to check that the electrics of a vehicle are working. Simply put the wipers on. Yeah, wipers are working, or try the horn. Horn is working, therefore the electrics are working on the vehicle. Just a note on the horn though, please bear in mind that if you're in a residential area, it is illegal to use the horn between the hours of 11:30 and 7 a.m. We're now going to move over to the last letter of flower, which is R. R for rubber. This includes the rubber on the tires and the rubber on the wiper blades. Let's talk about the tires. The tires should ideally be checked every day. If not, once a week is definitely needed. Here in the UK, when we're checking the tires, we need to ensure that the inner 3/4 of the tire, the width of the tire, all the way around the circumference, is at least 1.6 millimeters. The tread depth is 1.6 millimeters. On the wall of the tire, there should be no cuts or bulges. Also look for nails or anything else along those lines. The penalty for having defective tires is quite strict here in the UK. Not only do you get a large fine, but you also get penalty points per tire. You get 3 points for each defective tire. So if you have 2 defective tires, you get 6 points on your license, and if you're a new driver and you get 6 or more points, you automatically lose your license and have to do your theory and your driving test again. When checking the tire, please ensure that you check the spare tire if you have one. Wiper blades, again, it's very important once a week that you check that the rubber is not coming off, it's not worn, because of course if there's no rubber on the wiper blades, you will damage your windscreen, you'll scratch your windscreen. So there we have it. We've checked our car following the procedure in Flower. What about the why in Flowery? To be honest, the why in Flowery is the most important part. It's the most important part of driving, because without the why, there is nothing else. The why stands for you. You need to make sure that not only that your car is fit for the road, you need to ask yourself, am I fit for the road? If you wear glasses for driving, you need to ask yourself, do I have my glasses with me? If you're taking medication, have you read the label? Will the medication affect your driving? I hope you found this video useful. If you have, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up and share it with one other person. Thank you for your time. Take care. Bye-bye.